Cheers, everyone. John Brittlebow here. We're trying to track down a random Z failure on a TTC6050. As you can see from the profile we're creating, this is millimage, by the way. The final depth is 1/10 of a mil. The depth per pass is 1/10 of a mil. The entry type is spiral. Cut direction is climb. We're along the line. 0 stock to leave direct tool path. And we're purposely running this very slowly because what it's doing is the spindle, after you've set it to Z and then you hit start, instead of going down just 1/10 of a millimeter, it's going right through the board. So that's what we're going to show. Okay, we're going to set the Z and set the X and Y. So we're going over to the jog menu and we'll do Y first. Now, one of the problems that I keep running into is after it homes successfully, you have to constantly unlock it. If it homes successfully, it should remain unlocked. So that's bug number 1. The other thing is it constantly drops communication, which is what I'm seeing again here. So once again, we're going to see if we can get it to move here. What I'm doing is unlocking. I'm going to press home, make sure it homes. Now sometimes home fails from the front panel, particularly if it's over in the X equals 580 area. You'll tell it to home, and what it will do is it will go about 100 millimeters and then stop. And you have to repeat that 6 times to get it back to the true home position. So there's definitely a bug there. It is not the switches. The switches all test out good. So, as you can see, let me zoom in a little bit here. We're sitting right at the surface. This is a V-bit, and we're sitting right at the surface. The tip is just touching. I can't get a piece of paper, but it's still free to move. This is what we're going to use for X, Y, and Z 0. So what we're going to do now is 0 the workspace. And so the current tool position is X is 191, Y is 101, Z is minus 78. We have slowed down our in-between speeds for feeds because we know this is going to dive into the board when we run this. If we looked at the profile, the maximum depth is 0.1 millimeters. It's a single pass, so the cut is 0.1 millimeters. We're using climb, we're using spiral, and so forth. So we're going to go ahead and run this. We have created a profile. And so now at this point, we're ready to go. So the spindle is starting. Now it's slowly lowering. And this is going to run for a while, and then it's going to dive. So you can see it's running normally now. What'll happen in a random amount of time, and bear in mind all we're doing is Aerial 25 TT6050 25 PTS is what we're engraving. So you can see that the basic mechanics and the steppers are working correctly because it is using the V-bit and is tracing out the T correctly. Now, it's a single pass, so once it's done, it should now go to the next character. Okay, now it's going to the, I don't know what it's doing there. Oh, it's drawing, must be some kerning. Nope, there, now it's finished. Okay, so that's one. So that one came out okay. I've seen failures anywhere from immediate to as much as an hour and a half. There it goes, it's diving right there. It should not be doing that. Okay, so you can very clearly see we haven't changed the depth. We can very clearly see that it did the first one correctly, and now it's diving. And the longer it runs, the more it dives to the point where it actually, you can see right here where I was running another one earlier, it cuts right down through the spoil board. And that's the problem we're trying to fix. So we have, then as instructed, we move the A chip and heatsink over to the Z spot and swap the two. And we're getting the same result from both. So we need to figure out why this is doing this. This started doing this about a week ago. Up until that point, we hadn't had any problems. So we know the USB cable is good because I unplugged it and used it on my laser, and it performs the same thing flawlessly. My laser is an Atom Stack A70. We have all the latest patches on Microsoft. We have tried G-Control, Easel, Candle, and MillMage, and we get exactly the same result every time. So what we've isolated out is the PC is known good. It's got the latest Windows on it. We know all 4 applications deliver exactly the same result. When we run the file that comes with the machine, the TTC6050, here's what the result of that was. So as you can probably see, you can see where it did the same dive. You know, it started out on the top and it ran for a few minutes, and then you can see where it dived and went straight through the spoil board. So as we think about that, we know the mechanicals are good. I went through a complete alignment procedure with it. It's very accurately positioning X, Y, and Z. And when it starts, as you saw the T down here, it starts out okay, which means I'm setting the Z 0, the Y 0, and the X 0 correctly. We've looked at the G-code file. There are no commands to go down that deep. So for some reason, which probably has to be memory in the controller, is getting corrupted. And that may also explain the home problem that we talked about earlier, where if it's over on close to the X max side, what it does is it, when will come back 100 millimeters when you tell it to home instead of coming all the way back.
We're getting ready to
And it will
start
claim
the
that
run.
the limit switches have been triggered, which is not the case. I have checked the switches with an ohmmeter, so I know they work. And all of this ran beautifully for the first 5-6 weeks. And then this last few days, we've started having this problem. So the only thing I can think of is to actually replace the entire box, because that way we know we got it all. Because we know the gantry is working, we know the limit switches are working, we know the safety stuff is working, we know the spindle is spinning, everything goes up and down just fine, goes right and left, X, Y, and Z just fine. So it's probably not the stepper driver. It almost certainly has to be the main controller board. So that's why I'm requesting a replacement for that. Please let me know if you have any questions.